I cover education, and so I have quite a few people on Twitter that have sent in some questions. This one's from Garden Gal, who lives in Enderis Park, which is full of city employees. Why did you forego common sense conservative principles of local control to remove the residency requirement? And she says that we will not accept personal freedom as an answer.
Well, personal choice, I guess would consider it individual freedom, but yeah, I think that that's what it comes down to, people being able to make a decision where they live and what's best for them. And it's funny, you cover education. We went to the public hearings, and one of the topics that we heard about over and over again from people testifying was about kids and the choices and opportunities they had from an educational standpoint and being limited. One particular one comes to mind. I think it was a wife of a firefighter with a child with autism, and just didn't have the educational choices that they felt were important for their child. So I think we did have a sympathy for parents in that situation, and that's one of the reasons why we did repeal the law as it sat.
Well, James Causey, columnist. Yeah, I'm just curious as to why you're pushing push for this so hard when you have a mayor, alderman, county supervisors who are so much against it. I mean, this isn't a job creator, and I thought the budget was supposed to be about job creation.
Well, it is about job creation, but it's also about making every part of Wisconsin the best that we possibly can. I look at the city of Milwaukee, and as I've said to the mayor, I met with the mayor myself. I've met with members of the city council. I've talked to them about this topic. I own property in the city of Milwaukee. I don't know the last Republican speaker that has actually owned property in the city of Milwaukee. So I want Milwaukee to succeed just like everybody around this table does. But I don't think you do it by making an assumption that the only way we can convince people to live inside the city of Milwaukee is by requiring it underneath a union contract that you're not willing to even negotiate on. The mayor said to those members of the negotiating team, we're never going to talk about lifting residency, so go to Madison and fix it. Now, unfortunately for the mayor, they did, and I believe the argument. I've never agreed with the idea of having a residency requirement. If it's work-related, which is ultimately one of the things we talked about, where it's based on the job that you have so that you have to respond within so much time, that's reasonable. But saying that literally living on one side of the block is illegal or against your contract, but the other side of the block is not, makes no common sense in the world that we live in today.
So you don't believe the mayor's argument that people will leave the city within 10 years? He has a number of thousands of people fleeing the city.
Well, people will make choices what's right for them. Whether that, I don't think the people are just going to automatically leave their home that they have in Milwaukee. But the mayor's argument, one of the mayor's arguments has been from a financial side. I will say I had a proposal that was out there, and we had discussions with the leadership from the city of Milwaukee. They chose to walk away from a potential deal that would have had a financial give back from the union. So
what was that? That was a pension, wasn't it?
Well, it was the 3% and 6%. I mean,
Right.
I actually talked to the mayor on the day of the vote about having something in the budget, like John's talking about, which would say that if you are a current employee and you wanted to move outside the city, you would have a give back of 3%. If you were a brand new employee, in essence, it would be a reduction in the base salary, and you could kind of bonus because you can't reduce people's pay, but it would be a bonus. And the same for new employees, that you could have a lower base amount and maybe give a 6% bonus for living inside the city. So instead of saying you must, give people a financial incentive that helps to build up the base for what you want by using, the carrot instead of the stick. The mayor said no, they didn't want that. They were going to fight it out in the legislature and ultimately ended up losing.
I talked to the mayor's chief of staff Friday about this deal. Their position is you never officially offered it to them, and that you didn't have the votes to get it through joint finance. It would have been an 8-8 vote.
No, that's a lie. She sat in the room with me, with the majority leader, the governor's chief of staff, and she sat there and we offered her the deal. She kept wanting more and more, and we said, look, this is the option we're giving you. She said, if that's all you're giving us, I can't say yes, and she left.
Is it true is it true that they've come back and asked for the deal to be put back on the table?
They haven't come to me.
They haven't talked to me.
I think I would go back, if I remember correctly, the vote was 12-4. That was with no financial give back. So I would suggest if the city came out and said, yes, we'll take the deal, it quite possibly could have been a unanimous vote, or at least could have got a few Democrats as well. So
Jennifer Gonda.
Yeah.